Hello and welcome everybody to the Inferno, the Temptation Podcast, episode 7. This podcast is on a separate playlist, so if you're just finding my channel, I do way more than just this separate little playlist called the Inferno. This started for me when I had a abrupt change in relationships that I was completely invested in and found out the other person was never invested in it. So this is about relationships, good, bad, or otherwise. This is about our lessons that we learn through relationships, but it's also, the blessings. And so welcome to episode 7. Today's topic is self-control. And really, when I say the word self-control, I am talking about controlling our own consciousness, controlling our own thoughts, controlling our own minds, and how that has a big role in our relationships, how we respond or react in our relationships. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me. I am Lady Virgo, and I like to come on and share life experiences in order to help others. And it also helps me to clear my own thoughts, helps me to speak my truth and get it out there in the hopes of helping other people. So today, self-control and relationships, that topic is coming up big time because we're seeing on the micro level how humanity is being asked to shift and change our mindsets. Or if you don't, you're going to be controlled by others. And relationships, our immediate relationships, have the biggest influence and impact. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I've been doing a lot of reflecting as we are in Virgo season, just winding it up at the end of September as we get ready to go into Libra season. Libra season is about justice. Libra season is about judgment. And what do I mean by that? It's like visualizing ourselves in the center of the scale and being the observer of the things that we've been through and experienced of the past, and kind of having this observer mentality of what we want for ourselves in the future. So self-control. When we get into toxic relationships, a lot of times if you're a healer or an empath, so to speak, like myself, you go into this natural role of being in service, and you take that forward with you in the relationships, the ones that are closest to you. And so my hopes, as I witness and being that observer of my past, of where, yes, I was a people pleaser at one time, but I'm also just naturally in service as well. So it's really about the Libra energy, 7th house, of not losing yourself in relationships. There has to be a healthy balance of giving, receiving, right? And if you're in a relationship that's not reciprocal, your body will speak to you. I know, looking back for me, my intuition was speaking loud and clear. How that will manifest within you if you're in a relationship that's not in harmony is through anxiety, through stomach aches, through panic attacks, you name it. There's a plethora of things. Not sleeping well, all kinds of things that your body, your God-given intuition will be speaking and telling you when somebody else that you're in the relationship is not in authenticity, when they don't fucking have your back. But they're saying they have your back, right? Because that's the case for me in the marriage that ended in my world. Is I thought I was in a marriage, and in my heart and soul, I was in a marriage, but this person wasn't being true. This person wasn't being in integrity. This person had no loyalty. This person had no identity of their own. They were just mirroring me and mirroring my personalities, my likes, my passions. And so waking up to that realization, which I need to put my video up a little bit higher. Sorry about that. See what I can use to prop up my camera. Let's try this. So having that realization can put you in a spot where you can have huge epiphanies. I've been definitely utilizing a lot more alone time to reflect and be that observer, right? To see what role I played in it, which was truthful, was authentic, but this person was not being truthful and authentic. So there's a few things that I want to share about this. When you are in a relationship with somebody that is not in integrity, they may be saying that they are, and you might think that they have your back, but in all actuality they're not. And the word narcissism is coming up a lot in the collective for a reason. Yes, we need to put labels on certain things so that we can, as a humans, can express, and humans can share and identify, right or wrong. It's all about morals. And these people that are not in integrity, their words and their actions don't line up. And so a lot of them, if they've identified more with just their ego, where they're seeking out things that are instant gratification, they don't care who they're hurting. In fact, they intentionally hurt other people. They're living completely out of ego. They're not identifying with you. Your feelings don't matter to them. They're about self-gratification, and that is ego out of control. This world and this society rather, is breeding more narcissism. So if you're somebody like myself who lives in the heart center, somebody who is real, somebody that is truthful and practical, you have to have healthy discernment. And one thing that I'm realizing is that I doubted my intuition so many times, even though it was speaking loud and clear. Because when you are with and in a relationship with a predator, they will gaslight you. They will manipulate you and make you doubt yourself when your intuition is speaking loud and clear. So identifying that, being in that observer, being able to, no matter what kind of relationship, whether it be an intimate relationship with a partner, a sibling, a mother, a brother, it doesn't matter who, this is all relationships. So when you are in a relationship, which I call situationship, with somebody who is not in integrity, you will realize that they have zero moral compass and they have zero boundaries. Meaning, if you try to put up a boundary, that is when this narcissistic person will devalue you. You're challenging them because they're not real. They will devalue you. I know, looking back for me, towards the end of this 12-year relationship, at the end, I was getting the silent treatment. I didn't understand it at the time. The silent treatment was being used against me because this person, first of all, knew that I love to communicate, and that in all actuality, all relationships require good, healthy communication in order to resolve issues that all of humanity has. So they started using the silent treatment on me for punishment. I had no idea. Now I know. When I started questioning this person, let me see your phone, and then I started apologizing for doubting myself while I was being gaslit into, you have trust issues, when in all actuality, this person was cheating. They will turn whatever you call them out, they'll turn it back on you. They'll project. So when you start setting boundaries and you start speaking it won't be long and they'll start devaluing you, and they will move on to the next supply, because narcissists will not be alone. They do not self-reflect. They don't allow themselves to self-reflect. They are very weak people, but they're also predatory. They will devalue you, and then they will jump on and go with another energy source, whether it be validating them, whether it be monetary benefits, whether it be living circumstances. These people move fast. They don't give any closure to themselves or their partner. They will just jump on with somebody else. They don't hold themselves accountable, and you cannot hold them accountable for their actions. They won't look at it. They deny it. They lie so much that they lie to themselves. So they will seek attention and validation and for others to feed their ego. This is why it's so hard to identify the covert narcissist, is because they put on a different face to people that are out there than they do to you, the one that's closest to them at home. The outside world and people around them will think, oh my God, this person's just the best guy or the best girl. When in all actuality, all that is a mask and a different character that they put on for other people. But you, the one that's been closest to them, will be like, wait a minute, what? Yes, they have the potential to be a great person, but they choose not to be. They're very conniving. They do a lot of sneaky behavior to see what they can get away with. They get a high off of it, whether it be emotional affairs, physical affairs, or just the mere fact of end of the day, they don't know who they are. They adapt to whoever they're with. That's why a lot of times people in their work, people in the outside world think that they're just a great person, when in all actuality, they're nothing but a fucking monster. But don't worry, truth in the end reveals itself, right? They can't self-validate, so they will not be alone. If you know about somebody that's ended a relationship with somebody and they're just off and, oh, all of a sudden this new person, this new source of a supply is everything they've dreamed of, and oh my God, I'm the happiest I've ever been, you very well could been dealing with a narcissist, and you will be able to identify it just through that. Because when a long-term relationship ends, if it's in a healthy way, like you just grew apart from each other, both individuals will take alone time to reflect, to review, to heal, and to work on their own flaws, because we all have them. These people are out for themselves, and your feelings do not matter. I know, looking back for me, when this 12-year relationship that was one-sided ended, I cried my heart. Like, it was very real for me. I loved wholeheartedly, but for this person, they looked right through me, very cold, did not care. 12 years history didn't matter to them. They seek self-gratification, even if it's in dumping one person and moving on to the next. Empaths, sensitive souls, people who live it in their heart, and they're very genuine and real. Like I know who I am. Lady Virgo, I know who I am. These people are very intimidating to the narcissist. And the narcissist will stay as long as they can keep fooling you or controlling you. The minute you start questioning them, again, like I said earlier, holding them accountable, be ready. At the end, I was getting some comments from this person where, you're shedding your hair in my car. So everything I did, even shedding strands of hair, became a problem to this person, because it's very black and white for them. They will use you as long as they can, but once they're done with you and they're ready to monkey branch on to the next person, which is swing from one person to the next with no alone time in between, that is monkey branching. It's like they're swinging from one limb to the next with this next supply. They will start, you can't even breathe correctly around them. And I look back at it now and go, he was bitching because I shed my hair in his car. Like, what the fuck is that? Now I know why. The new supply has no hair, and my God, you can't be having, can't have your wife's long hair in your car. It might interrupt those times of going and having sex and having sin being created between two people who were plotting against you, right? Crazy. It's bizarre. So they're insecure, and they're actually codependents. They are so insecure and lack their own identity. That's why a lot of times you will see them completely a different person when they monkey branch into the next situationship. I know for me, I was noticing some words that were coming out of my ex-husband's mouth that he'd never used in his vocabulary the whole time we were together. And what was happening is he was already grooming this person and hanging out with this person when he was supposed to be at work. And he was picking up and using words that she used. So you need to pay attention to these things. They'll get really sneaky with their phone. All of a sudden there was a new passcode on the phone. They'll spend a whole lot more time in the bathroom. They'll pick fights with you just so they can leave and go be with this next supply that they're trying to see and test the waters with. So pay attention to that, because they're very, very manipulative, and they can be very smooth. They lack empathy. So all of what you may have poured into this person doesn't matter. They don't care. It's all about self-gratification for them. Nothing will ever satisfy them. No amount of love. So like myself, pour in, but didn't realize I wasn't getting reciprocated. You can't love them enough to change them. Another thing that comes up with they'll never be satisfied, you'll find a lot of times they love dating apps. They'll be married at home with their supply, whether it be a husband or a wife. They'll be creating their little personal profiles, putting on those different characters for different people out there. The online world is fueling narcissism, because they can be right in the comfort of their own home with grade A supply. You can be married 12, 20, 30 years with these people. And as long as the story goes, and as long as you keep playing the movie part like you're supposed to, like a good little girl or boy, and not questioning them, not holding them accountable, they cheat the whole time. They're habitual cheaters, whether it be physical, emotional, you name it. They're never satisfied. Pornography, another thing. Prostitutes. Whatever it is, it's always just about feeding that ego, because they are so weak that they do not know who they are. They move fast on you. So I look back at this in the beginning of the situation I was with. My standards were very high. There was 3 things when I first started seeing my ex-husband, which was no lying, no cheating, and no pornography. Those were the 3 things that were my moral compass that you don't do when you're in a relationship with somebody, and he busted all 3 of them. All 3. And sadly, making up excuses and telling you one thing, but when the actions weren't lining up and I doubted my own intuition, shame on me, won't do it again. So they move fast. They move fast. That's what the monkey branching's about. They don't take time to themselves. They're done with you. I used you up. I'm, boom, moved in, shacked up with the next supply, because there's some sort of resources there that feed their ego. They'll plot against you, too, as their wife or their husband with the new supply. And they'll just think it's just wonderful to team up against you, the one that's poured your love into them, with their new source of supply, and bashing you and smearing you, and they get off on that because it's a source of, they like attention. Good, bad, or otherwise is irrelevant. They just need attention. And they are codependent because they will not be alone. My healing journeys required a lot of alone time, and I'm really loving it. I'm grabbing a whole lot of releasing and letting go, and discerning on who I am as a person and what I want for myself going forward. These people are not. They're codependent. They're wounded. But the biggest thing that keeps them from healing, that's why counseling does them no good. That's why your love and your unconditional love does no good. At the end of the day, you will be thrown away. If you don't walk away, they will throw you away. They love that control. And once they're done with you, like I said, very black and white, they're going to be already grooming, unbeknownst to me. I didn't know this, but this person had been already grooming and having an affair with a coworker. So they can come across as shy, especially the covert narcissist. Oh my God, did I mistaken this? But in all actuality, they're just keeping a part of you, part of themselves tucked away from you that you will never be able to penetrate, no matter how much you love them. They're very secretive. They lack healthy communication, because when you try to have conversations with them, they'll just deflect everything on you. You're insecure. You're having trust issues. You're shedding hair in my car, right? The most outlandish thing. And that is because they don't trust. They don't trust you. It don't matter how long you've been with them. You're their enemy. You are the enemy. Period. Oh, I already kind of covered this, that they will put on a false character to the outside world, and that's what fools a lot of people. They'll just be like, wow, I thought this guy or girl was such a good person, but that's because they're getting a different character. These people are chameleons. They adapt and change depending on their environment and who they are around. They will change who they are at work versus who they are at home. They will change who they are around social gatherings compared to what they are at home. So, I'm sorry, my incense got me. They will adapt and change just like a chameleon depending on who they are. So stand true in who you are and don't let that bother you. I know it's a process and it will bother you at first, especially when you've been treated so abusively and so toxic by somebody that you loved. Just know at the end of the day that it was one-sided. They cannot love. They are only with you for supply. And it's sad. The support groups that I'm in, 12 years for me, there's people that continue on in these situations for longer than that. And it really does describe at the end of the day it's energy draining. You will be exhausted. You will experiencing digestive issues. You will experience anxiety, panic attacks, you name it, because this person was never reciprocal to you. They were sucking your life force energy. They were adapting and using you to put on a persona to other people that, look, I'm in this happy marriage. That's why Facebook and all these social media platforms, when they start spreading around their new supply and how happy they are and new locations and new people and new mindsets and all of a sudden you're just a happy person because of somebody else, that is all to get to you. That is all to twist the knife in your back a little bit more, when in all actuality had nothing to do with you. Yes, we all have flaws, but if you're a person that does self-reflect and you're working on you, it's not about you. It's about them. And it's who they are. It's a character flaw that was most likely developed in youth. And as Dr. Phil says, there is no amount of counseling and there's no therapist out there that can help them, because they end up manipulating therapists too. If you take them into marriage counseling like I did, they'll just manipulate the counselor and they'll learn better and smoother tactics to continue to control, manipulate, and abuse you. So cut your losses. This person knew I would never give up on them because I took my wedding vows very serious, and he actually used that as a weapon against me. And when the monkey branch was complete, when he was ready to move on to the next supply, he did everything he could do verbally and physically to leave me in a situation that left my head spinning. But by the grace of God and my own power within me, I know better. I know better now, so I can do better. That's where it goes back to the topic today of self-control. We need to have self-control with these people to not respond and react to them. Keep it light. If you're not through the divorce process with this narcissist, keep it light. Go low contact. Work on yourself. Take that time and connect with your own inner divine. Cry it out, grieve it out, counsel it out like I am. But do that so that you're not responding and reacting to these people, because they actually fuel off of your negative supply. They don't care if it's negative or positive attention. They are drama queens. They're attention whores. And so when you give them any kind of fuel, they will just use it. It boosts their ego. Oh, and the last thing I wrote on here before I get into a few little sayings that I'd like to share is they try to prove to the world something that they are not. In my case, very independent woman, single, had my own home, renting with my children when this person came into my life 12 years ago. I thought he was my soulmate because of that character that he was playing. Played right into it. It wasn't about just monetary. And 12 years later, I am now in a situation that Well, I'm better than I was 12 years ago, but in the physical, kind of in a predicament. But they put that show on. He used me for 12 years to put on to the outside world whoever it was he needed to prove himself to, of just a character of a, husband and home and 12 years and normalcy, right? So they will definitely put on a new character for every person they're around. If they're trying to move fast on you, you better caution and pull back the reins on yourself. Question things, observe things, watch the actions, because they never line up with the words. They can tell you all day, I love you, you're my soulmate, but the fuckers will be cheating and on dating sites and you name it. Now I know why this person loved working out of town so much. And the ghosting, they'll just ghost you. They will literally change their number. They'll not respond to you calling them, texting them. They'll stop reaching out to you. That's very fucking immature, but this is what these people do because they are immature. They are underdeveloped. Now, in the case that I experienced, this person wasn't, quote, physically abused, but circumstances in their life split home, but the mother basically took that child out of 3, took that child, put him in the role of the husband, golden child them, put him on a pedestal, could do no wrong, idolized this child, just really boosted that ego up in them, and they are continuing to live out the same cycle. It's not always about just the absent parent. It's sometimes about the parent that was there and how they stopped looking at the child as a child and used that person as a spousal role. It's fucking crazy outlandish now that I look back at it, because I was even triangulation. Like I said, they use that with the new person they monkey branch to. They'll triangulate and team it up against you. But this person also did this with the mother and triangulated me and the mother. It was a competition for them. So a few beautiful little quotes that I want to share on episode 7 of the Inferno are: remember this about yourself. Do your work. Go into your inner divine. Take time alone. It is very powerful. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose anyone. People lose you. It's their loss. It's not yours. Grieve the life that you thought that you were having, especially in a marriage, right? Does anybody take fucking marriage vows seriously anymore? Not very many. If you do, like I did, you are a rare gem. You are under the pressure, have the opportunity to become a diamond. So remember that. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose anyone. They lose you. Glow up. If they fight to lose you, let them win. If they're being destructive, if they don't value you, if they're not respecting you, let them win. Let them go. Go no contact. Utilize the silent treatment. Work on you and do your processing. Do your grieving. Do your connecting. Do and set your intentions on what you deserve for your life, because you are worthy. You are worthy. You're better than this. You deserve a relationship that doesn't disrespect you. You deserve a relationship that does not take you for granted and your goodness and your stability. You are worthy, and so am I. Flowers grow back even after they've been stepped on. So if you've been crushed, if you've been hurt, remember you're a flower. Take that time while you're feeling down and out to water yourself, to nurture yourself so you can spring again. Let's say it. Flowers grow back even after they've been stepped on. So will I. And the last one for this podcast is: their rejection was your direction. So if somebody's rejecting you, if somebody's not honoring, respecting you, and loving you up for the person that you are, the truth of who you are, having a reverence for who you are, their rejection should put you in your divine destiny, should put you in the direction of the path that you need to go. I hope you enjoyed this today. Leave the comments and let me know what you've learned and grown through, how you're grieving. If you've had a relationship come to end, we're going to see more of these happening. And again, it's free will. You can take two people in a relationship that's headed in the wrong direction. And if you have two people willing to work on it, willing to grow, willing to not take each other for granted, and willing to communicate, that relationship can grow, blossom. The grass is greener where the fuck you water it. Much love to you guys. Shalom.